Hi everyone! So today I wanted to give you a flip through of my book Whimsical World of Flowers. It's my new colouring book, it's my first colouring book, and I'd like to give you a tour through, explain some of the inspiration behind the book and just talk you through it. So on the cover you can see some of the characters there that I've created. My book is a book that asks, what if flowers had little lives of their own? And on the front you can see some of the characters that I've created, which we will talk about more as we get into the flip through. So the front cover is quite a thick cover. It's got a nice matte finish. It's got a slight sheen to it, but it is matte, so it's not too shiny. Going into it, on the inside of the cover, you can see that's also got a slight sheen to it. Now, you couldn't really colour this because it's way too shiny. However, I have popped it there, so if you'd like to colour it, you still can. I just thought it looked better than having just a plain blank page, which I didn't really want to see. So then we've got a copy of the front cover without the background, so you can have a go at colouring that yourself as well. And stepping into the copyright page and this book belongs to page, you'll find Dandelion. Now Dandelion's not actually in the book. This is the only places you'll really find him at the moment. But I do have more ideas going forward for future books with Dandelion involved, so you will see more of him. The idea behind Dandelion is that, in my imagination, if he was real, if he had a life of his own, he would feel like a flower. He's got petals, he's colourful, and he's got leaves just like a flower. But we spend a lot of our time as gardeners trying to get rid of dandelions, and we don't particularly want them on the paths or in the garden, etc, etc. So he's a bit beaten up, he's a bit unloved in that sense. That's kind of the inspiration behind him. Then we move on to a little welcome with some help from the worker bees. You'll see quite a lot of little worker bees throughout the book. And then we have a Petal Pal gallery. This is actually a page that's getting given away for free from the 7th of August, so you'll be able to download this at home and colour it in for free. And I'll also be given a free page every month, which you can find more info on my website about that at www.annafeather.com. So here we've got Thistle. Thistle is actually based on my little boy who is mad into science, experiments, potions, rocks and minerals, all that sort of stuff. So I wanted something that was sort of sciencey, and I wanted something that could have mad hair. So after looking around at different flowers, Thistle just felt right for the character. So there you can see all these little jars filled with all sorts of little things. And then we've got his botanic table. So it's a play on a periodic table, as you probably can tell. So we've got your seasonal wonders here, your sunseekers here, and your shady characters here. And when I drew this and looked at a periodic table for inspiration, I could imagine all these being coloured in certain colours, and then this section in different colours to that section, and that section a third selection of colours, if you know what I mean. So you might have blues and pinks and yellows, something like that. I'm sure it'll look good however you colour it in. Then we've got a potting shed, just a few little animated pots and some bits and pieces that you would expect to find in a potting shed. By the way, the paper is really good thick paper, so it's nice and thick. Here we've got some cups and saucers. This is probably one of the earliest pages I drew for the book. It's kind of, when we were little, we used to have a china cabinet. It didn't have a lot of cups on it that I remember. I think it had a few, but it had a lot of big plates, and it was my job to take them all off, dust them and put them all back on. So somewhere in between faces on pots and flowers and that china cabinet, this was born. And I've kind of got little themes going on. So you can see we've got a little rainbow theme here, we've got a cherry blossom theme here, we've got a party theme here, a Halloween theme, a Christmas theme. So yeah, that's that one. Then we've got the plant pot library, because every world needs a library where all the little plants can go and borrow books. And then this is a selection of what you might find inside, which I love that little page. That was one of my favourite pages to draw all the little details. We have a mushroom house. We've kind of got a daytime version and a nighttime version. So they are very much the same drawing, but this one's obviously a daytime one. So the flowers up and having fun. The birds having a splash in the water. So if you see on the nighttime one, you can see the water's been dripping all night. And then in the morning, the birds splashing around, playing. You see the snow globes not being played with, then it has been played with. Things like that. Things that have been interacted with in the daytime, and then it's all tidied up at night time. We've got some fun little cactus. The inspiration came from different places. This one, I did see a real cactus that looked like an ice cream somewhere. So I thought that would be cute. So yeah, they're all just, some's just from my mind and some's just from little bits and pieces that I've seen that I thought would be cute as a colouring in picture. And we've got a bird bath surrounded by a pretty floral arch. And then this is a bird's eye view of that bird bath. So each page does complement each other in some way. It sort of goes, if you like, it's a pair. So this is the top of the bird bath. We've got a little frog sunbathing, loving life. That's where I want to be right now. It's absolutely chucking it down where I am right now. So that just looks like a dream. Here we've got factory. If flowers were made in factories, this is what I imagine it to look like. So we've got the pots being selected and coloured and painted with different patterns on. And we've got the boot wheel sending them all along the way. And here we've got soil being distributed into each pot. And then a seed. And then a touch of magic to help it grow. Then we've got the water room. Some are loving it, some not as much. So they're all getting wet, and then they come to the sunroom because every flower needs sun. Again, some are absolutely loving life in the sun. Then we come to the wind room or the hardening up room where we get the plants all hardened up, ready to go live outside in the real world. Next we have rose. So as you can probably see, I have a lot of made up flowers within the book. These are the flowers that are based on real flowers. So there's only these ones that are based on real flowers. All the rest are just completely and utterly made up flowers. So this one's rose, and rose to me has always felt like quite an old-fashioned flower. I think it's probably because one of my nanas used to have them, and then my other nana was called Rose. So they've always felt kind of an old-fashioned sort of flower. And my nana just always had a cup of tea on the go, always. So she just felt fitting that she was an old-fashioned flower and she loves a good cup of tea, and there's nothing a good cup of tea can't fix in a crisis. Then we've got the queen bee, and that's the only place you'll find her. She's just a one-off. And then she's got her worker bees there making a pretty wreath, not a leaf, wreath. In here we've got Mr. and Mrs. Tulip, or the wrong way around, Mrs. and Mr. Tulip. And I drew a bunch of flowers and wanted to put hats on them. And when I started putting hats on them, some of the flowers just didn't look right with a hat on. It wasn't working. And I had a few tulips within the bunch and they worked really well. So then I decided to just do tulips with hats and fascinators and all that kind of stuff on. And a little bunch of flowers within a hat box. And after drawing that one, I loved it so much, I decided to do like a manly version with the moustaches and a few ties and a cravat. Yeah, I had fun doing that one. I thought that was quite funny. I love drawing things that I find cute, but also that, excuse me, that I also think make me chuckle, make me smile. And they definitely made me smile. A little bit bonkers, but I love them. Next we've got flower. It's sort of like a hotel flower in my mind. So you've got the little bug houses. So imagine if each leaf in a living garden was a little house and a little home for a bug. And that's what some of their little gardens might look like. So it's kind of like hotel or flats, that kind of thing. And then that is inside that house there. So that's what I imagine the inside to look like. So again, it goes with that page. They go with each other. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making those too. Those little houses, they're cute, really cute. And Next we've got the topiary. So here I've got a themed topiary as well. So we've got a moon topiary here where the bird's having a nap. We've got the Christmas topiary, which has got gifts underneath. The heart topiary where the birds are in love, two little lovebirds. So yeah, I had fun doing those as well. As soon as I decided it was going to be an elephant, it was going to be vintage circus elephant, because I really like the look of a vintage circus. Here we've got another one of the Petal Pals, and Poppy is a bit of a hero of the garden. He takes a lot of care of the garden, looks after the garden, helps all the flowers grow. He's just the hero of the garden, and as you can see he's got all the worker bees helping, except for this little guy who's having a nap because he's had a hard day. And then on the opposite page are all the florally medals that Poppy has won for all his hard work. A lot of detail on that one. So this one is 12 months, 12 photographs of a life of a flower. So we've got January, February, Valentine's, and the fact that it's still usually snowing in the UK in February. We've got March, St Patrick's Day, April showers, May, now I've just done May as sort of a self-care month, June, getting the flowers planted outside, July, birthday month, August, it's just sunning himself and having a summer holiday, as a lot of us do in August in the UK. Although we tend to not do it in the UK because you can never tell what the weather's going to be like in the UK, quite often do it abroad. But sometimes we're lucky in the UK, especially down south, can get some quite nice weather in summer. And then we've got September, which is the back to school month, October, which is Halloween month, November, which is bonfire night, and December, which is Christmas. Each time the pot, well, you can't see it in that one, each month the pot gets a little bit more damaged until it gets to Christmas and they get a shiny new pot. And also the flower gets bigger every month as well as it grows. So here we've got Daisy. Daisy's having a little outdoor birthday party with other little Daisy friends, which when you say it out loud sounds a bit bonkers. This whimsical world is just a bit bonkers. Here we've got seasons pages. So they're very different, but they're both related by seasons. So we've got the spring picture, the summer, the autumn and the winter. And each one you'll find the little bird having a little bit of fun. So it's having a shower in that one. It's having a splash of a time with its goggles and its rubber ring on. Can't think of what it was called then. It's having a little dive into the leaves in that one, as my little boy loves to do when it's autumn, charge through the leaves. And then that's winter. It's having a little ice skate on its bird bath there. And then again, these ones are just, there's nothing really whimsical about these as such, they're just pretty windows. So we've got spring, summer, autumn and winter. So I think they'd look so nice coloured in with their seasoned colours. Next we have fuchsia. Now fuchsia is the one that started it all for me really, because a fuchsia to me has always looked like a little ballerina with its little legs dangling down, its little pretty dress on. So I've always, since I was very little, thought that fuchsias look like ballerinas. And after I'd created some pages for this book, I actually saw a fuchsia plant and it sprang back all the memories of a fuchsia looking like a ballerina, and it just, a spark just went off and fuchsia was born, excuse me. And the rest of the Petal Pals followed soon after that. And I have so many ideas, so many more flowers that just feel like certain characters in my world, in my mind. So I'm excited to bring you those at a later date as well, in between however many other projects I've got going on right now, because I have thousands of ideas and I'm so keen to get them all down on paper and out to you guys, but not enough time. Don't we all? Never have enough time. So this is a bee related page. So we've got some bees in the garden here collecting honey. We've got different reactions from the flowers. Some are a little bit scared, some are allergic, some are having, making friends. And we've got the honey pots at the top. I think it looked cute, that coloured in, and then a plain background. I think it looked really good. And then inside the beehive is what's really going on. So we've got the bees running their own factory there. So we've got the flowers going in, the honey being made, then we've got the packaging, and then all the logistics stuff done downstairs. Yeah, dead cute. I absolutely loved making that one. Here we've got seed packets. So we've got all different flowered seeds, and then the picture on the opposite page represents where that flower's grown. So that flower's been planted and grown at the bottom of the fence there. And that one's been popped into a vase on a windowsill. Then this one's grown up the wall like ivy. You get the idea. So yeah, each one corresponds, that's the word I was looking for, corresponds with the other side. Here we've got some snow globes. These are some little snow globes with just some little tiny scenes going on. So we've got a flower that's grown too big for its snow globe there. We've got one that's grown so big it started to curl round and round and round and gone dizzy. And then on this one, I absolutely love this. It's not a flower, but it's a bird. Obviously, it's a bird. Having a bubble bath after a very hard day flying around all day. I just love that one. I think that's lovely. Even though it's not, you know, whimsical flowers, it's still so whimsical. And I had to put it in the book once the idea would come into my head. I had to put it in. I loved it so much. So this is Sunflower. Sunflower is a bit of a hero of the garden. He's very much loved. He's Mr. Cool. When you see a sunflower in nature, it's standing tall, really tall, lovely and bright, lovely and yellow, really strong. So it just felt like a hero to me who worships the sun. So he's very cool, very, very Mr. Cool, but maybe a bit vain too. This was the very, very first page that I drew for the book. This is lots of different bits of bric-a-brac, all with flowers in, as you can see. Some of the flowers have faces and some of them, the pots, have the faces. But I thought it was cute. Lots of detail to colour. And here we have Nightshade. Nightshade is probably one of my favourite characters, although he shouldn't be, because nightshades are deadly and poisonous. And so obviously he's the baddie of the book. He's the villain of the book, and he has all these potions that he mixes up. And then there's some more examples of all these potions here. So yeah, I shouldn't love Nightshade because he's the baddie, but I do. I think he's cool. And I love all these little bottles and shit on the shelves and things. I think they're going to look amazing. Really cool for Halloween, actually. I think this is the last one. We have an office. Not a huge amount of whimsical flowers going on in this one, but we've got a set of bookends there. And then we've got one that's had a dabble with the tape. But I just thought it was cute still. And then this is the bonsai tree that's growing there. So if you could zoom into the bonsai tree, it's got lots of little bits going on. And then, yeah, that's it. And then we have the petal palette, which is just a page for you to test your pens out on. And then, yeah, that's the page you can colour in. Lots of little detail on there. And then we have a little bit about the book there. And then, as you can see, we've got the back of the flowers there, which correspond with the... Let me grab another book. They correspond with the front. So if you imagine that one being put like that, they correspond... They look opposites there, but if you put them like that, you can see it's the front and back of each flower. So yeah, that is my book. I hope you like it. If you colour anything, if you buy it or get any of the free pages and colour any of it in, please do tag me. I would love to see some of this coloured in. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for watching.